We're broadcasting.
We are broadcasting.
We are broadcasting?
We are broadcasting.
Hi! Okay. So, yeah, so this is the first meeting of the Kids Club. Yay! To talk about Junior Braves of the Apocalypse. Super good book. This is I'm Brian. I shouldn't play to the camera. I'm Brian, and this is my store, and this is my son Ben. So Ben will be co-hosting this with me, and my plan is that eventually he'll take over, and I'll be his co-host rather than the other way around. That's my plan.
That works.
That's my plan. Normally Ben will be picking the books with me.
This week.
This one, because we were trying to get the thing started, I picked this one. I think I did that right. But.
Yeah, it's super good.
Did you guys like the book?
I love it.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
I got thumbs up all the way around, right? Nobody didn't like it?
I think he's read it twice already.
Really? Awesome.
I'm not a fast reader. I finished the chapter last night because I was really busy.
Okay.
The last chapter.
Very good, very good.
But then I went back and skimmed through it and stuff.
Okay.
And I remembered some important moments.
Yeah. So, do you have something you want to say to start? Do you want to make a statement of some kind?
Well.
Say what you thought about the book, maybe? I don't know.
Okay, sure. So what I thought about the book, so I loved how in the book it sort of, you could feel how, you could almost connect with how the people were learning to use their skills that they learned on their trip throughout the book. So, I mean, in the beginning, I liked how you could almost just feel that they were all scared, and then by the end they were still scared, but they were understanding things that they could use. So that was probably my favorite theme.
Cool. Do other people feel the same?
That's definitely how I felt. Like, I thought it was like cool that he used his automotive, like, oh, I have my automotive patch, so he could fix the car tire. And then I also kind of liked the songs, the campfire song, song part before chapter 6.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of funny. Another thing I absolutely loved was how before the end of the chapter, how there was always something that has to relate to the book or something that could be an actual skill. So how at the end of, I think it was chapter 1 or maybe chapter 2, shows you what the sticks mean, and that's important later on. So I thought that was just a very great thing that they could include.
Mm-hmm. And those kind of signs are, I mean, they're real. They weren't made up just for this book. That's actually a kind of thing that happens. Not that anyone really has those skills today, because most people don't learn those things anymore. But yeah, very good. CJ.
I was actually kind of confused how this, what kind of world it was set in, because it was talking about Tribe 65 and talked about all this Native American stuff.
Right.
And I thought it was like a different, like a universe, like not kind of like ours, like in a place where the Native Americans were still around or something, and they made their own Boy Scout troop. I don't know. It was kind of confused. Some of the people were part Native American, and there was some Native American callbacks and stuff. And I thought it had related to that because like Native Americans weren't treated as badly, and they made a Boy Scout troop or something.
Right.
It was kind of confusing for me, that part.
Huh, okay.
So the way I took it, I think, is that they just lived in some normal small town, but maybe the area they were in used to be inhabited by Native Americans or something. So, yeah, that's also possible.
Yeah, maybe they lived on the reservation. I'm not sure. They didn't really make it clear. And then the tribes were numbered, unlike the real Native Americans who just had like names for the tribe.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that was meant to be like a Boy Scout thing, where Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts have numbered, troops. Troop is the word. Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Somebody else have a comment they would like to make? Come on, it's gonna be a really short meeting if you guys don't talk. Yes.
I was thinking if they must have had if they couldn't have been the only Boy Scout or Girl Scout troop, to go on your camping trip, there had to have been other troops that had gone on a camping trip. So I would think that there would be more people that were still alive, and I would think that there would be more zombies.
Well, I think part of the idea there, I think, was that because their leader, the scout leader, took them away from the camp they were supposed to go to, like off into the wilderness, as opposed to like at a formal camp. So I think that maybe if there were other camps out there, that they got overrun by zombies at that camp because they weren't that far off into the wilderness. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I think that actually kind of does, because then they'd all be dead.
Yeah.
So good thing on my part. Or maybe he knew that the zombies were coming. Wait, no, he says in the end that he has no idea what happened. So I guess we can believe Padre there.
Yeah. I think so too.
I think we trust him.
So overall, what would you guys say was your favorite scene or area?
Like the part when they're at school,
Yeah.
and the lady the cafeteria lady was trying to eat them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was definitely my favorite.
That was my favorite part too.
I like the part where they're at the gas station and one of the kids kills like the biggest zombie with like a
I kind of like the part, I kind of like the few parts, but I could single out one. I kind of liked in the first chapter, I think it was the second chapter where he, where it's a callback to where he was swinging into the water, like they had the zip line onto the buoy, because that looked really fun. But then he uses it on one of the telephone lines in the town, and I thought that was kind of cool. And he says the same thing. I think it was Booyah or Booyah Kasha.
Right.
No, that's Ninja Turtles.
Right.
I'm sorry. I
Sorry.
don't remember what he said,
Oh,
but it was something.
Cowabunga.
Yeah, it was Cowabunga.
Oh yeah, but I thought that was kind of cool actually, because it was a callback.
What was L.I.? Yeah. L.A. What was your favorite part?
Well, I kind of like when you were on a camping, just at the very beginning.
Okay.
I always like that part of the story. I don't know why. Yeah, it's just overall my favorite.
Cool. Very good. Very good.
I like the part in the beginning where everyone was sort of like scared to go,
Right.
and then they were sort of like, "Well, he left us. Now what are we gonna do?" And then the apocalypse sort of happened.
Yeah. Well, and they didn't even know what was going on at first, too, right?
I did not read it, so
That's okay.
I'm just listening to
Yeah.
fill me in on what happened.
Milo, what was your favorite part?
I don't know.
You don't know? Didn't have one?
And most of the days were
Okay. You don't have to talk.
when they met that person in the cop car, when they went to that other place. That's the place.
Yeah. Nice.
You don't even know.
Nice. Was there a part that you guys found particularly scary? No? All right, not scary.
I wouldn't use scary as the word. A little freaky is how I would describe it. The school scene, how just like the look of fear on the teachers when they realize that the delicious food that they've been eating has been dead people, essentially.
That was a little creepy.
That was kind of creepy. I kind of didn't like that part for that reason.
Right.
I thought the school part was a little bit freaky, actually, the entire thing. So I kind of skimmed over it a bit because I thought it was kind of freaky. But I didn't like not read it deeply. I just kind of tried to read it a little bit faster because it was kind of eating people is just so disturbing.
It really is. It really is. Don't eat people. That's the lesson.
I won't.
No.
You're because it makes you a cannibal. It makes you kind of go crazy, I guess.
I like how the kids keep it together and all the adults start going insane. You know,
Yeah, that's
I think that might happen too somehow. Yeah.
So, if you guys could add something to the book, like generally, is there anything that you would add? Like a detail or a scene or anything? Or something that you want in a future book?
Instead of it being black, white, and some of the green, I thought that instead of having the green palette, anything that
Was there a lot of blood in it?
Yeah, there was
Quite a
like
bit.
zombies with their heads.
Like,
I think that they drew the humans looking a little bit like sometimes I couldn't tell which ones were zombies and which ones were humans. Like if you look in this scene, she kind of looks like a zombie.
Right.
Like the teachers, the old
Right,
teachers.
right.
And sometimes they made what's his name after he got tasered. Buddy, after Buddy got tasered, it kind of looked like he was a zombie.
Right.
And I just feel like they could make the art was my favorite part.
Yeah.
Unintentional rhyming there. But I think that if they had made the humans a little bit different looking than zombies, that could have been easier for you to interpret. I don't know. I love the art though.
so, two things. One, I think that the reason why they look so similar is because I think that the mutation type thing happened just, I mean, as it says in the book, like 5 days ago. And also, I completely agree with your example of the school, because I think that those people, since they've been eating the meat of the creatures that they're somewhat turning into them,
Oh my.
like that's why their skin looks withered and they have like they have creepy nails and stuff.
Yeah.
Might be because they're eating the meat of the mutated people.
Maybe.
Or that they're just really old. I don't know. I don't mean to be rude.
No, that's fine. I didn't take that one personally.
I'm not calling you old. I'm just. I'm
No, I'm old. Don't worry, CJ. I'm old. So when Padre came back at the end of the book, were you surprised by that, or did you expect that to happen?
I was surprised by it.
Yeah.
I was surprised by it.
It actually went exactly the opposite of how I thought it would, because I thought it would be that Dylan would come back and Padre would, like, Dylan lost Padre, and Dylan would come back, or something. But I thought it was actually very interesting that they chose to have Dylan just get eaten, because, I mean, he seemed like part of the reason why they were still staying strong, because they knew that there was someone out there who they had to look for. And then Padre just comes back with no one, so I thought that was an interesting choice. And I liked it.
Hold on, that's no good. I want everybody to talk, CJ. So nothing you can't talk, but yeah.
I think Dylan's gonna come back in the next book.
Yeah, I think that's a good possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think here's kind of a theory that if they wanted to make it like a horror book, because this is more of a young adult book. Oh yeah, and was I surprised by Padre? No, because I skipped ahead.
Right.
But that's one of my flaws. I always skip in the book.
Yeah, you shouldn't skip ahead.
I shouldn't. Then there'll be another one of these questions. But anyways, what I think, if they wanted to make it a horror book, like this is for young adults,
Right.
If they wanted to make it a horror book, then they could have like at the end of like the last book, if this is a trilogy or whatever, they could have Dylan come back as a zombie and like drive the kids insane or something.
Right.
I don't know. It's kind of a crazy idea.
Yeah.
But or they could just have him come back in like the second or third book.
Sure.
I think it would be cool if he came back, or they could have like, because this one was called A Brave is Brave, they could have one called A Search for Dylan. Like after they get to Seattle, they meet their parents, and then they go and search for Dylan.
Right.
And then they like find him or something. I don't know. Interesting theory.
So it is. Go ahead. You talk.
I personally don't think that they're gonna find their parents, or at least not in the second book, because I assume it's gonna be more than 2 books, probably a trilogy or something. So I have a feeling that they're not gonna find their parents yet, or I don't know if they're all gonna find their parents. They may, but
Well, I think it would be unrealistic if they all found their parents.
yeah, but like they found someone,
Yeah.
or sign that their parents were there. So yeah. Oh, and another thing I looked up that I really liked was the first scene when they climb up the church and then they have to like get the mutated guys off. Yeah, just because the illustrations in that were really good, and you could really just see like well, I know you can't really see, but on page 57 on the tall box, you can almost see how scared and just like just how insane they think that this whole situation is.
Notice the page numbers.
Oh yeah, tiny little.
So I wanted to see how many pages it was.
So
Got one.
you got one.
Got one of them. I don't know where the other 2 are right now.
All right.
They're online. They're figuring out. I see one there.
Okay. And have they been hearing this the whole time?
Yeah, they've been here. Yeah, he's saying yes. I've muted him just because I don't want to.
We can unmute it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
unmute him.
And who do we have? Oh, since I can't see.
Nope. Hang on. Sorry. It's a thing. It is there. I'm unmuting Michael. It is Michael Tanner.
Hi.
Michael
Hi,
Tanner.
everyone.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Good.
Let's let me just so you can see what we're dealing with here. I'm gonna actually turn the camera so you can see the kids rather than seeing me.
Kids.
There's kids.
I'm not gonna start.
Hey, kids.
Hold back out.
I do it on
Adult. I see an adult there.
Oh, there's an adult in a camera. Here, you scoot off to the side so that we can actually. There we go. That's kids. All right. Didn't mean to do that. All right. There. Now you can see them all. Okay. So, so Michael here is one of the writers. I guess I wanted to ask a question, just because I'm curious, because there's 2 writers on the book, and I wonder how that works, having 2 writers.
It's very interesting because we also live in 2 different places. So it's a lot of phone calls and it's a lot of collaborating online. Sometimes one of us will kind of write sort of a rough outline and the other one will look it over and have ideas and sort of flesh it out more. It's a lot of back and forth. It's a slow process.
Cool. Do any of you guys have questions for him? Yes, please.
How did you guys get the idea of the overall plot of the story?
Oh, could you repeat that?
How did you get the idea of the overall plot of the story?
Oh, okay. The other writer, Greg, came up with the basic idea of group of kids go on a camping trip. When they come back, the zombie apocalypse has happened, with just basically that one sentence. And then we thought of all the interesting things that could happen with the main characters being kids, having to survive, a kind of zombie monster mutant apocalypse. So, like, obviously things with their parents, with school. We tried to hit a lot of things that would, what's the right word, that would resonate in the world of kids, like things that you guys deal with more often than not. You're more likely to deal with crazy teachers and having to go to school than you are with, like the army and jet planes and prisons, like in other zombie fiction.
Yeah.
CJ, go ahead.
I kind of have a question. I know I've talked a lot. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
But
Don't worry about CJ.
how is the idea of Tribe 65? Is it like a mix of like Native Americans and like the Boy Scouts? Is it kind of based off that? Because there was a lot of Native American references, and they were called a tribe instead of a Boy Scout troop. So I don't know.
The idea is with them being junior Braves, is that it's kind of the idea is that it's not really, it's kind of a fake Native American idea. It's about an old white guy 100 years ago, what he thought of as, strong Native American traits to emulate, and kind of built sort of a fake organization that's like the Boy Scouts, but obviously isn't the Boy Scouts. So it's the idea of what this one person 100 years ago thought was important, and kind of stealing a little bit of culture. And so that kind of comes into conflict with Johnny, who's an actual Native American, having to be put in the situation where he's with a group that's called a tribe, but it's not a tribe the way he understands it or believes it to be. And it's not saying that there's anything wrong with what the Junior Braves stand for. It's more just about cultural appropriation, which is kind of heady stuff now for a kid's book. But yeah, so it's supposed to be kind of Native American, but also kind of fake Native American.
I'm gonna try this.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, give me 1 sec. Keep talking. It's just.
Okay, go ahead and talk now.
Whatever happened to Dylan since he disappeared?
What happened to Dylan?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know. You'll have to keep reading. Maybe Dylan will come back, and maybe he's gone forever.
This actually,
We're not just making this up. We know what happened to him, but you guys won't know for.
this is actually a question that came up a little earlier. The kids were wondering, is this a trilogy? What do you know how long this is going to be?
It's either going to be 3 books or 5 books,
Wow, all right.
depending on how many you buy. So buy a lot of them, and we'll make sure that it's 5 books.
Okay.
Interesting.
And we pretty much all around the room, we all gave it a thumbs up.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Everybody really loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big thumbs.
So who else has a question? Skylar.
How long do you think it would take to make the second book? Like, when will it come out?
Oh, that would be a great question for the artist if he was here. I think our hope is that it's out summer of 2017. So it'll be a little bit of a wait because it's going to be a big book. But after book 2 comes out, then we hope to be on a schedule where each summer the next book will come out.
Okay.
So you won't have to wait, because it'd be terrible to have you guys wait 10 years for the whole story to come out.
Right. Yeah, go ahead. Dylan has a question, yes?
Yeah, I'm off camera, but how do you work with the artwork? Do you send him or her your drafts, the words that you're writing, or is it reversed, or how do you guys collaborate like that?
Zach is the artist. Zach gets the full script. We send him the full script, and then he goes through and he does thumbnails. So kind of quick, small sketches of what he sort of wants the page to look like. And then once he's done with those, he sends those back to us and the editor, and then we all kind of look over it and tell him what we like or what we don't like, and then he either revises or he goes forward and then he does the full pencils. And I believe Zach inks as he goes. But some artists, they'll draw the whole book and then they'll go back and ink it.
Do you ever do sketches
Twice.
out of mind?
I'm sorry?
You ever do sketches yourself as to like what you have in mind in your head as to what you would like it to look like?
We will send him reference material. So for like for the mutants, for the zombies, we would send him Google image search results for like horrible skin diseases and like basically horrible sideshow stuff that will give you nightmares. So we send him that, and we're like, draw something that looks roughly like this guy's face falling off, or with a giant hunchback.
Cool. Thank you.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. Wait.
No?
Never mind.
Think about it.
Okay.
Got a question, Lena? No? Cobalt? No? No?
Actually,
Back to CJ.
was it your decision or Zach's decision to make the book in just 3 colors, black, white, and green? Because I thought that was like one of my favorite parts of it. So black, white, I love like abstract things where it only shows one color. Another question: will the other books have different color themes where there's only one other color showing?
That is an excellent question. It was Zach's idea, and each book the plan is for each book to have a different kind of accent color wash over it. So for book 1, it was green, and I think for book 2, we're talking about either kind of more of a kind of brownish tone or a blue tone over it. But yeah, so I'm sure Zach appreciates you pointing that out, because that was definitely something that he was really excited about to do.
I love art like that, where it just shows like one color or 3 different colors. Like art where it's like each person has a different color. It's like the aura, or each book has a different aura thing. This one had a green aura, which I thought was awesome because it's my favorite color.
Nice.
So,
It was cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what city or area did you generally, what city base this off of, or just, because it says in the book, it was in the Pacific Northwest, but did you base it off any city in particular?
There are two cities, forget I'm on camera. There are 2 cities that are kind of the inspiration for Roseland. One is a city called Roslyn, which is a small town in sort of north central Washington state, which you kids are way too young to remember it, but there was a television show called Northern Exposure that was filmed in this small town. So it's Roslyn, and also a town in Washington called Cle-Elum, which is kind of in Washington state. If you're driving west towards Seattle, the far east of the state is Spokane, Washington, and you drive west, and there's not a lot going on, and you drive through the mountain path, and Cle-Elum is the first town you hit before you start getting closer to Seattle. So it's kind of this kind of waypoint between nothingness on either side and large cities. So it's those 2 towns that are the inspiration. And I see Zach and Greg have now joined us.
Yeah, sorry, folks. We had some crazy stuff going on.
There we go.
We got it figured out.
This is Zach, and this is
Hi, that's me.
there's Zach right there, and here's Greg.
Can you guys wave to him? Say hey.
Hi.
Cool. Have you guys been listening to this, or are you totally okay? So you heard. We don't have to go over everything again.
Yeah.
They could fact check me if I got anything wrong.
Hey, you did fine. You did good, buddy.
All right.
The city or keeping them in a smaller container? Like,
Could you say that again?
for a future book, are you thinking about taking the Braves to a bigger city like Seattle, or are you going to keep them smaller?
Well, at the end of book 1, they are on their way west with the idea of going to Seattle. So you'll just have to see if they make it there.
Alright.
So I think we had a couple questions for Zach too, right? Because I know you guys had some stuff you wanted to say about the art, or am I wrong?
What stuff you want to say about the art? Oh, okay.
Levi, go ahead.
I was thinking for the next book, instead of green, you should do red.
It's funny you should say that. That is actually, I think that actually is the plan. I think that's been the plan for a while.
Oh.
A good call. You're on top of it.
CJ?
The art was one of my favorite things in the book, like overall, because you kind of felt like you were in this world after the zombie apocalypse happened. Everything was a little bit weird and messed up and not normal. Like the zombie apocalypse has effect to the people who are still normal. Like they look different. Everything looks like it's been through the eyes of kind of a zombie. you know, because everything's like different. Like you could make it from the perspective of the zombie. I know that there was no like a thought bubbles in this book, so that made it a much more easier read. But like it looks kind of like it's from the perspective of a zombie because everything's weird looking, and that's what I really love.
That's a really interesting thing to say. I hadn't I've never thought of it like that, but that's one of the more intriguing responses I've gotten to the art in the book is the question of like, well, what perspective is it coming from, and is it sort of through zombie vision? So thank you. That is interesting.
Oh, that's the question.
That was one of my overall thoughts. I don't know. It's cool. I love the art.
Thank you. I think I don't know. What do you like? What maybe one of these days we'll do something from the perspective of a zombie, and then it'll get even weirder. Like I don't think we have any plans for that in the series itself, but there might be some opportunity to do that for something on the side. We'll see. That could be fun.
So, are you thinking of keeping it just 2 colors, or do you want to branch out into?
I mean, more color is always nice. We've only got the one color thing is really like a budgetary constraint. Like that's, you know, it costs a lot of money to print in a full spectrum of color, especially for a book this size. So it would be nice to do something like to do a larger book that is in full color. But I don't know if that will be something that we'll be able to do anytime soon. I do think, like, I know that like there were re-releases of Scott Pilgrim that were done in full color. So if this goes well, and if the book is popular enough to justify it, maybe one day in the future, the far-flung future, we'll be able to do like full color re-releases of the books.
Oh, all right.
Maybe. I mean, like that's a possibility. We don't know that yet, but it would be cool.
So buy lots of copies of the books.
Yes, exactly.
All 5 come out, and someday your children's children will be able to read full color versions.
It's an investment in your children.
Yeah. Anything for Greg? Anything for Greg?
Hello. Someone else got a question? Yes? No?
I kind of did. It was kind of for Zach, no offense. But I wanted to say, I have a comment and a question. Comment, I actually kind of like one color theme. I think we should keep it that way. I don't mean to be exclusive to anyone who likes the more color, but I think it's really great in the one color theme. And color can be like the tone of the aura of the book, like the tone of the book, kind of. Represent the tone. Like green kind of did represent the tone of like zombies and pumpkin stick and all this crazy stuff. But oh yeah. And then my other question was, did you do the coloring yourself?
Well, what I did, I suggested to our editor Charlie that we do that we do a tone. But the tone that I did was not in green originally. It was just ink. It was just gray. It was an ink wash. And like green was the plan, definitely. But the way the process works would be I would do this ink wash on a separate sheet of paper from the original like line work. I would take it into Photoshop and like turn it completely gray, like take all the color information out, and then the production artists at Oni changed it to like a printable color profile, which is a fancy way of saying they turned it green. So I did like the fields where the color is, but I said let's do like we all agreed let's do it green, like that was a consensus we all came to together. But I didn't actually apply green to it. I just did something in gray, and then the color was changed.
So we do have a comment from the web. I don't know if you hear me. Can you hear me? So we have a comment from the web from Shadow470K, and he says, I liked the part when they were in the store and
Well, that was the best part, right?
Yeah, of course.
Video games are the best part.
It starts with video games with Travis and
Mhm.
kind of goes to it.
I like
It is a theme with him.
I really like video games.
He
Yeah.
does.
I like that part a lot because it showed that even through all their stress, they didn't stop doing what they loved to do before everything terrible happened.
Very true.
Did you
Yeah.
play a lot of video games yourself?
Not as much as I'd like. I don't think Mike and Greg do either. It's hard to find the time now that we've got this book that we're making.
I play a lot of video games, guys.
Are you
So,
lying?
I would say the odd truth about the book and video games is when Mike and I started to actually write a lot of this stuff out, we would do a lot of video game chat, just to kind of like throw ideas out there. So we play some games and chat about things and just take notes at first for a while until we, as he puts on his headset.
You put in a headset and you'd be playing the video games. You'd be like, Greg, what do you think about this zombie mutant? How about what if they attack the church? It's a lot of that. Some modern age video games.
One of the most touching things in the process of making this book was when I actually had to stop playing games for a while just to get it done. Like there just wasn't going to be time, and I needed to remove that distraction. And I made a post about it on Facebook, being like, "Oh, woe is me." And Mike and Greg both quit video games with me for about a month. They we all went cold turkey together, and they didn't they weren't I was the one who it was my turn. I was the one who was working at that point. Their part was done. But they were nice enough to kind of be my moral support for that time period, which was great because I needed it.
And it's a tough thing to do when you do it a lot, when you play a lot of games. It's part of your daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
CJ?
I have a question and a comment. So my question is that did you are you going to in future books explain how the apocalypse happened? When they get to Seattle, maybe you'll find this scientist's lab who says, "I did it. I made this thing, but my science born and went wrong, and it made everyone turn into zombies or something." Because that's how they explain it in a lot of zombie things. I don't know. I haven't really watched The Walking Dead. Yeah. And then my comment is, I'm probably one of the few kids here who actually doesn't play video games. Probably everyone here plays video games.
Have you thought about starting?
I have a PS. I have to use it.
Regarding will we ever show exactly how it happened? Probably not. We know exactly how it happened. We wrote up how everything works. But I think in the context of the books, you'll find out a lot of what happened, at least what happened locally. But you won't get a full flashback showing everything that went down, or have someone sort of tell the boys exactly what happened. But you'll find out enough to be able to figure out how things went.
Okay, cool.
The rest of you got a question?
And if anyone wants to buy my PS3, it's probably going to be on eBay soon.
All right. Well,
It's old now, so I'll cut prices.
so I'll ask a question. Do you here? I'll even get it framed so that it's not completely weird. Do you feel any pressure or challenge writing a book like this when there's so much other zombie fiction in the world? Do you feel like you have to work really hard to come up with a new way of interpreting it, or?
That's a really good question. I've been talking a lot, so I'll let Greg and Zach take it if they want to.
I would say trying to fit it in the current parameters that people understand that are already there so that it's not trying to lay it out in something new, and people are like, I can't wrap my mind around that. How does that work? But then again, leaving enough so that you can build your own story within those parameters that makes sense. That's where the challenge is, and that's what we're doing. I think as building a world or a zombie story with in this framework, there's not a lot of stuff with kids, so we're very fortunate in being able to tap that and tell this kind of story.
Yeah, it's funny for us because we've been working on this book for 5 years from when we initially since we initially signed contracts with the publisher, and at that time part of the sort of push for it was that there wasn't any young adult zombie fiction out there really. And so in the span of 5 years, we're really surprised that nothing else came in and filled that spot. So we're happy to be telling a story that hasn't really been told. Like, there's no kids versus zombies stories out there really. So we wanted to be able to, or we're happy to be able to fill that missing gap in zombie lore because it's fun. It's fun for us, and we hope that it was fun for you guys to read.
Yeah, it was great.
Is there anything you guys really want to see in future books?
You said in future books?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys really want to see? Like, what would make your day? You'd be like, oh man, I want to see a zombie that has a tow truck for a head. I don't know.
That'd be super awesome. But well, a few things. Well, the top thing probably I think would be to see maybe just some people, like more survivors, but to see even more of how the toll is affecting, like the toll of having everyone be dead or mutated. And also, I would love to see, well, if they're actually going to Seattle or if they make it, I would love to see the Seattle Space Needle completely overrun with mutants crawling up it, because that would be completely awesome.
All right.
Zach's like, yes!
More zombies or
Or gore.
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 Hmm.
Does everybody want to see more gore?
Yeah, kind of. But I like for the red theme book, for the blood to be red. That blood would be red, so that would be kind of cool. I don't know, maybe a little bit more gory with red. And another idea that I had was, you know, the Dorcas kid. I forget his name, but they called him Dorcas.
Marvin.
Marvin?
Yeah. But he kind of did. What I'm thinking is he's like kind of timid in a way. Oh no! I'm thinking of someone else. I'm thinking of the guy, Javier, the guy who.
Javier.
What I'm thinking is, since he's kind of timid, what I think would be cool is if, like, he saved the gang. Like, they're all trapped in some warehouse with, like, a ton of zombies attacking them. Or they're trapped somewhere with zombies attacking them. He sees a shotgun and he picks it up and he's like, time for me to save the day, and he, like, kills the tank. And everyone is, like, super surprised. That could be kind of a cool twist.
So,
yeah.
I had a related idea. How you were saying that the second book could be red. Well, I think a cool idea could maybe be they use the same green and then red, and then by the third book you use green, red, and whatever the next color is. Then throughout the books you continue using what the previous few colors were. I think that would be cool.
Well, it's interesting. Like, our idea has always been to switch color from book to book. And tidbit, when we do the red book, we can't actually make it strictly red because you know how all the green is kind of on top of the white paper? thing is, when you put like mists of red on top of white, it becomes pink, which isn't very threatening. So we're gonna, we are like, I don't know, maybe in the right, like maybe we'll try it, but I don't think we're going to.
Right.
So we're gonna try to give it a reddish feel. It will probably be more orangey more than anything else. You'll be able to tell we're trying for red, but we can't actually do red because then it's just going to look like candy.
Right.
Candy's delicious.
Candy is delicious.
Delicious paper.
And then so we have one question from the internet, which is, did you guys enjoy making the book?
No, God, it was awful. Yes, it was amazing.
No, it was a lot of fun, and it still is a lot of fun because we're still
doing it.
We're still working on more books.
Mm-hmm. I've got I'm working on the thumbnails for book 2 right now. I've got them right here, and I'm having a great time looking at them and working on them. So yes, it is still a lot of fun.
And not to toot our own horn, but I think book 2 is really kind of funny. Like there's a lot of good funny bits along with the zombie action.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I agree. I think all the things that people have said today, the things that they're going to be looking for, I think they're going to be pleasantly pleased with book 2.
Oh, I like the person yawning in the foreground.
It's because I was talking.
What's your question?
I heard someone's phone go off.
Did you hear that?
No.
She said in addition to zombies, she'd like it if maybe there were vampires or other monsters of a multiple apocalypse.
A multi-apocalypse.
A supernatural smorgasbord, if you will, of an apocalypse. I don't think we'll do vampires, but you might, in book 2, no spoilers, but we do talk a little bit about Bigfoot.
And Mossmen, very briefly.
Oh, yeah, Mossmen.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying those characters will show up, but we do talk about Bigfoots and Mossmen's.
So, I have 2 things for us. Not something you should necessarily do, just 2 cool little ideas. One, since Oregon is close to California, it would be probably cool to see either San Francisco or LA or something. And also, it might be cool to, if they went past an army base, because it's kind of near that area, or something like that.
Cool. Thank you, man. Yes, smile.
I have an idea. If it ever passed through San Francisco, it'd be cool if a ferry building was overrun by a bunch of zombies.
Yeah.
And they could see what happened.
I think there are a list of cities that we want to see destroyed, or at least it would be fun to see zombies running through their streets. We might not get them in the books, but if there's ever the opportunity, I think zombies running wild over Fisherman's Wharf would be hilarious in its own way. But we probably have a list somewhere of cities that we want to see zombie apocalypse overrun.
And also, since I said LA, but the Hollywood sign would look really cool if there were just people crawling all over it.
Hidden down. All right, CJ.
I have 2 things to touch on. One is a question for Zach. Who are the 3 boys on the cover? I couldn't really tell since the cover was in color.
Yeah, I was scared of that. Because, the cover was made, just a couple months ago, 5 years after the rest of the art in the book. The guy on the far, as you're facing it, the far left, is Travis. The one in the middle is Dylan, who dies in like the first 20 pages.
Hey, he doesn't necessarily die.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. He doesn't necessarily die. He could just be mutated.
Yeah.
Or horribly mutated.
We don't know.
We don't know. But we don't see him for the rest of the book. And then on the far right is Lucas.
Very good, Milo.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, cool. And then my other comment is, if you did San Francisco, this is just a suggestion, I guess. You could write all of us into there running away. All of us running away from the thing in our little outfits or whatever. Like if you did San Francisco. Like, I don't know. It's just a suggestion. You don't have to. I just thought it was cool.
I like how he thinks. He's got a PS3 for sale, and he wants to put everybody in the book if we go to San Francisco.
I don't know. I wasn't before. I did publish something in a book before or something.
I'm down with it. I think it's a good idea.
It's good stuff. I like it.
All right. Well, so we're pretty much at an hour here. Do you guys have any last questions for them? Do you guys have any questions for the kids?
Did we cover characters they didn't like?
Oh no!
Characters they didn't like?
I'm curious about who.
Characters they liked, characters they didn't like. What I mean.
I really liked Padre and how he felt so bad because Dylan died or got mutated or something.
I like the mirror.
Like mirror. Anybody else? Yeah.
I liked the science teacher.
Oh.
The science teacher. Thanks.
Mikishka.
Mr. Mikishka.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I liked the part with the science teacher where he said, "You're a 6th grade math teacher. How are you gonna come up with a cure for a zombie apocalypse?" It's kind of ridiculous. Like he seemed kind of like he was kind of crazy. And
Yeah, I think it's safe to assume that he was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and then also another idea was Bill. I hated him. I thought he was a really bad person. I didn't like him. I didn't like any of his doings or anything like that. That was one of my least favorite parts. They were just so kind of mean to the kids. That wasn't good. I mean, I guess Travis did play video games with them, but that was like the only comedy relief kind of thing for that scene.
We also have a request from the internet that you guys work in some zombie animals. Zombie.
Oh, really?
Oh, we got you covered. Trust me.
I think whoever asked that will be very happy.
And then like one zombie elephant.
Oh, zombies are hyped and really.
And they attack them and keep on. Zombie monkeys.
Oh,
Zombie monkeys.
Zombie monkeys.
Zombie
Let's
killer.
definitely go to San Francisco.
You know, maybe they go to SeaWorld and then the zombies fall in the water and bite the walls. That would be. I don't know.
I
If they ran
can't wait
over-
for a sequel.
If they overran Fisherman's Wharf, they could bite the sea lions, and then we'd have zombies.
Zombie sea lions, the terror of the seas.
I don't know zombies can swim though.
Well,
Probably can.
Well,
I think
since
they
they're
get-
dead, they can float.
I think a good zombie animal would be like a polar bear or a grizzly bear. They do attack the cat.
So,
Or maybe a black bear.
oh, grizzly bear. Yeah,
Well, yeah. It's definitely an option that we will pursue in future books of zombie animals.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so cool.
Zach has been studying some nature books so he can get proper,
He's been
anatomy.
reading his National Geographics.
I could use those. We'll have a talk. My people call your people.
Do we have any questions for the kids? No, all right, any final questions from you guys?
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, I have some questions. Did anyone else get the buttons in here?
Yeah.
Did you guys like the buttons?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they're
were kind of
super
cool.
awesome.
They did relate to the book. Like, we got a bus transfer. But we got the first aid button as like the patch thing. I don't know. You can probably zoom in to see better.
Yeah, well, they know what the buttons are.
Oh.
Yeah, they know.
I have some.
I thought these were kind of cool.
Oh.
And then it was also cool to get the kids club button.
Nice.
That was awesome. These.
Yeah. You can get buttons? Oh, I'll give you a set of buttons right now. Yeah, we were supposed to.
Everyone.
Trail marking.
It's all Doug's fault. You guys got buttons.
All right.
Well, it's fault. It's somebody's fault. It's not my fault, though. We made the buttons.
I was the only one who walked in and saw it. I was like the only kid there when I bought the buttons. So I don't know. They might have some others. I don't know.
Very good. Okay, well, so thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
It
thank
seems
you
like
for doing this, and thank all of you guys for coming and doing this too. I hope this was fun and interesting to y'all.
Yeah.
Cool. So again, we're gonna do this. We'll do this again next month. Next month, our book is Space Dumplings. Space Dumplings.
You know that sounds fun.
This is a really good and funny book. Yeah. And hopefully we'll have Craig Thompson involved as well. I'm still working on that. But that's the next thing. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And thank you, Jordan, for helping us run the program.
bye, Braves.
Bye.
Bye.
Here's the book club.
Cool.